Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to another day of accountability. I'm feeling a little bit of a state, but that's okay because that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So yesterday I talked with our wisdom today, and I think this is a good day, to sort of mention this. But yesterday we talked about how you shouldn't resist things and you should keep moving forward, and even if there's challenges arising and things are getting super busy and it looks like things are getting crazy, you should just don't resist it, like accept it and know that everything will work out and things will work out. And I'm following on from that because I don't want that to sort of kind of give you an indication like you should work yourself to death and go into burnout, because that's not the case. And what I want to sort of share with you today is you don't have to kill yourself doing things, but you also have to understand that success doesn't have to look pretty. And I think sometimes in social media and you see these sort of bigger names of very well put together people, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but these very successful, well put together people, and I often look at these people myself and think, wow, like they look great and they've got these great pictures and these great videos and things like that. And I'm like, well, maybe they don't have 5 kids, maybe they don't have a 1-year-old that keeps them awake all night, maybe they're not, and it kind of like rolls in that maybe they're not up at 6 a.m. every morning, trying to get 3 kids ready for school. There's so many factors to what people do and how people want to perceive you. But the message today is that no matter what you're doing, just keep doing it. It doesn't need to look pretty. Success does not need to look pretty. And that is the affirmation today, to just kind of like say to yourself, success doesn't need to look pretty, okay? It can look however it looks. The most important thing is the mind, that the mind is in it, and the mind is working in it, and the mind is present in it, and the mind is calm, and the mind is controlled. It doesn't matter if your hair is a mess, as long as you've done the work on your mind, and like your mind needs to look pretty. Actually, this is actually one thing. Success doesn't need to visually look pretty, but your mind definitely does need to be a sanctuary. And it's really interesting because I'm building this brand new co-working space, which we sort of talked about and I mentioned yesterday, and it's going to be the new space that we're going to be working in. And I wanted it very much centered around supporting virtual assistants with how they keep their mind, looking pretty. It doesn't matter about your hair, it doesn't matter about your makeup, it doesn't matter about your face or your wrinkles, it doesn't matter if you're going grey, it doesn't matter if your nails aren't done, it doesn't matter if your clothes are a mess, it doesn't matter if you're sat there in your pajamas, it doesn't matter if you're sat there with a little bit of baby puke on your shoulder, it doesn't matter what you look like. Now, how you feel might be associated with what you look like, but success does not care what you look like. Like I was brought up in a world, like when I started working when I was 16, everyone was like, you have to dress a certain way, you have to act a certain way, if you're going to get a job, you have to be a certain person. And the world has moved on a lot from that, so I spent a lot of my time caring a lot about how I was looking and what handbag I had and what clothes I was wearing and how my hair looked. And it was all very superficial, because the real success that I've had in my life has been with the hair tied back in a mess, with the baby puke on the shoulder, like it has been that. So success doesn't need to look pretty, and you need to know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you stand right now, whatever you look like, success does not discriminate against what you look like, okay? It only cares about what's going on in your mind, okay? So work more on the mind than you do on the outward appearances. Okay, so now we're going to share a bit of wisdom. So it's our wisdom day today. And I got the wrong one. So we're going to pull a little bit of wisdom out from the cards, and maybe it will be relating to this, or maybe it won't. But so many times and so many people, like I had a lady come to me who really wanted to get into the health space once, and she said to me, I can't do it, I won't be able to do it, I won't be successful. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, I'm too overweight. You know, she said, I know a lot about health, and, you know, I do a lot of rituals and practices that make me feel healthier, and I've helped a lot of people, but I'm overweight and nobody will listen. And that's just incorrect. That is very, very incorrect. What you're going to do is you're going to be serving a niche of people who are looking for somebody exactly like you, and that's just how it works. So yeah, just something to think about there. So we're going to pull out a card. There was one that jumped out there. We'll do another one. Okay. So the cards that we've got today are Journey. May you seek adventure. And that's really interesting because, you know, when you go on a journey, particularly when you travel, you don't necessarily always look your best. You know, it's not about a journey, and seeking adventure is not relating to how you look. It's not relating to how you think people are going to perceive you or how you perceive yourself. A journey a journey and an adventure is very raw, and again, it doesn't necessarily look pretty. And then the second one is free. May your soul sing freely. And this is about giving yourself the freedom to not put so much pressure on yourself to be a certain way. And the most important thing, and I'll mention this before we go into our daily accountability, is that I spent a really long time thinking to myself, I wouldn't be able to be successful in business because I just wasn't that cutthroat hustle kind of business person. And I looked at people like, around that time, Marie Forleo, and these really pristine, you know, kind of like perfect looking women, thinking, if I have to become that and I have to do all this hustle. She talked a lot about hustle and, you know, doing that. That just wasn't me. I'm a total introvert. And I've had so many kids over the years. I'm just not that person. But then it took a long time for me to realize I didn't have to be that person to be successful. And you can make a lot more money. You know, like, social media is so, I think, misleading in many cases, because you see people with these hundreds of thousands of followers, and that does not mean they're successful. You can say they're successful at that particular thing of generating a lot of followers, that you don't necessarily need a lot of followers in order to generate the business that you want, because their vision is not your vision. What they're trying to achieve and how they want to be perceived is not necessarily how you want to do that. So get really super clear on what you want, and just know that it doesn't have to be perfect, and success doesn't care about what you look like. Okay, so that's it for today. Let's go into our daily accountability session, and then I shall see you again tomorrow.
First, we're going to do our gratitude. Think about the day before. Think about everything that you feel grateful for from the day before, and write it down. You can find at least one thing. Let's begin. Next, we're going to read our goal. This should be written down somewhere. Read it through right now in the next minute. Now we're going to spend 1 minute closing our eyes and doing a visualization. Visualize yourself having achieved the goal or the things around you that show you've achieved the goal. Let's begin. Well done. And finally, we have our most important task for the day. Write down a task that you want to accomplish today that's going to help you take one step further to your goal. Think about it. Let's begin. Well done, you, for completing your daily accountability. I am super proud of you. You have done so well. And don't forget, you can join me live online inside Virtual CoWorking Space every day where I create these videos live. Please do like this video if you do like it, because I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with the affirmation of the day. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.